What's up, guys? We got a crazy video this weekend. I watched this whole episode in its entirety of Rogan with Bernie. So if you haven't seen this one yet, there's a couple of clips that obviously are going viral on the internet. When you watch the whole thing in context, so just really quickly before we get into a couple of these, when you watch the whole thing in context, what's really crazy is Rogan's actually like when you just take the clip, it escalates how it actually sounded versus the actual interview. Okay. Now, me listening to this the entire time, I was literally saying what Joe was saying before Joe said it. It's like, so this first clip that we're going to watch is obviously from Bernie talking to Joe about, how it's basically buying an election, right? Like, so let's go ahead and listen to it.
What it says is, you're a billionaire. You have now the constitutional right, because your money is your freedom of expression, right? So you don't like Bernie Sanders? You can put millions or hundreds of millions of dollars into a campaign and express your view about how terrible Bernie Sanders is,
right?
And you can buy that election, right? That's your constitutional right. I think that's...
You're not buying an election. You're donating to a campaign. How they use your funds you don't get to choose. Okay. For those of you who have never actually donated any significant amount of money to anything, let me explain to you. You don't get to buy it and then say, hey, I want to donate X amount of money, but if we win, I want to do this. Okay. Now, the person who's elected, they may look favorably on you and they may want you to help them with something, and they may give you a nudge or give you a shout or do something. But by no means is there any actual obligation to do things. Now, with lobbying, completely different. And you could argue, well, isn't that the same thing? Yes, but the problem is, guys, and this is where Bernie's fucked up. Okay? The problem is Biden had raised an insane amount of money doing no campaign trail before they put Kamala in. Okay? Once they got past the DNC, because remember, this is what most people forget. RFK Jr. wanted to run against an incumbent president in the Democratic National Primary. The Democrats didn't want to have a Democratic National Primary because they knew that more people would vote for RFK than Joe Biden, and it would completely obliterate the party. So they said they're not going to have one because they have an incumbent president, which is not democracy. So the people who say save democracy are literally retarded.
Probably the worst decision that the Supreme Court has ever made. So what is the result of that decision? The result of that decision, let's take us to where we are today, is that Elon Musk, and I know Elon was on your show, and he's here in Austin, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. And we could talk about it.
My favorite thing there is Bernie. So, guys, if you don't understand what that is in conversation where you're trying to like kind of go back and forth, if you don't understand what just happened there, this is what happened right there, okay? Bernie gave Joe a temperature check. Watch Joe's face.
We could talk about Elon, but he spent $270 million to elect Trump as president. Okay. I think that's absurd. That he spent we could talk about Elon, but
yeah.
Okay.
That was the face. Watch.
You're showing. He's here in Austin, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
No smile. Yeah, he is here in Austin. Yeah, he's my friend. You're not. Keep going.
And we could talk about Elon, but he spent $270 million to elect Trump as president. Okay. I think that's absurd that any one person...
What's the most someone donated towards the Harris campaign?
Keep in mind, guys, now they raised $1.5 billion, which they're going to say in a second. Okay, they raised $1.5 billion for Kamala Harris in a matter of months when they switched over to Joe Biden. And Biden already had a war chest, okay? Keep in mind, no one voted for Kamala because they got past the primary so they could just throw anybody they want, which is the main reason the Democrats lost. Had nothing to do with Rogan, had nothing to do with anything else, had everything to do with people going, wait a minute, we didn't get to vote on who is our candidate. So a lot of Democrats didn't vote that way because of that. Okay? Now, that being said, last election in 2020, Mark Zuckerberg donated $400 million to the Democratic Party for the presidential election. You can go look it up. Dwarfed Elon's amount.
They spent a lot of money on Harris as well.
They spent $1.5 billion just
combined
over the course of a couple of months.
You got it. All right, let me talk about it. So
Yeah,
I'm not here
let's
just to
talk
say
about
it's
that.
a Republican. That's my point here.
Right.
Okay. What it says is
Right.
you're a billionaire.
So that's clip one, where Joe's like, no, bitch, they spent $1.5 billion, and what they did with it was insane. They went out and bought celebrity endorsements. They literally took $1.5 billion and were like, hey, Beyonce, what does it cost? Hey, Oprah, what does it cost? How much does it cost? How much does it cost for you to get on TV and say this? How much does it cost for you to go get on TV and say this? That's what they did with the money. They gave the money to celebrities to act like she was a popular candidate, to try to gaslight people. Now, this is another clip
When you say suing media,
where they go back and forth, and I'm not going to watch the whole 7-minute clip, but basically what they did is they go back and forth about being able to sue the media outlets. Bernie does not like it. And his reasoning isn't completely illogical. The problem is the way every time Joe tries to tell him, so basically, here's how the whole thing plays out if you don't want to watch a 20-minute clip, okay? Joe goes out and says, or Bernie comes out and says, oh, well, suing the media is authoritarianism and it shouldn't be allowed and blah, 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 and 60 Minutes is reputable. Basically is the majority of the clip. The reason Trump's suing 60 Minutes is because they edited the interview where they took answers from a different question and put it into this question because it made her look more competent and less incompetent. When you played back the actual interview that wasn't edited, she looked retarded, which is why they couldn't air it. So the reason they had to edit it is because they went through, did the interview, and then said, if we air this, she's going to get massacred because she sounds fucking dumb. Because she is dumb. Okay? Now, Trump is suing for basically trying to now again, Trump is litigious, right? Like, we know Trump's litigious, but that being said, they've tried to kill him, they've fucked with him, they've edited everything he's done, they tried to kill him again, they don't ever say a good word about him no matter what he does. Fuck these people. Like, think about it this way, if someone tried to kill you, legitimately have you killed twice, which Democrats did. Now again, that's my opinion, right? But that's what happened. And most people agree with that. Okay? If that happened, I wouldn't give a fuck about you either. I'd sue all of you. And if I was the president of the United States, it would be so much worse. I'd be Clintoning people all day. All day. There'd be people taking their own lives if you tried that shit with me. And then I became the president of the United fucking States. Like, that's what I would do. I'm sorry. Like, and I think, honestly, most people with any sack on them at all would do the same. Imagine if they tried to kill your mom or your dad or somebody you loved. What would you do? If you knew that there was a group of people out there that were legitimately had tried to take the person that you loved in this world the most life, right? Even if you're one of those people who's like, I would, it's not my life. I don't care. I care about others, whatever. Okay, great. Let's take the person of the others that you care about the most, right? Shut up. Okay. I think he's handling it pretty good because I would have went way more scorched earth than Trump has. Let's get into the clip.
I just filed a lawsuit against Fox News for lies, for deceit, for misrepresentation. Enough of their lies. We'll see them in court.
Going after media, suing media, taking away the authority that Congress has.
When you say suing media, are you talking about the CBS lawsuit?
Among other things. He has,
Right, but don't you think there's a real issue with what they did?
no.
And keep in mind, every time Joe talks to him about this, watch, keep
Well,
watching.
I've been on 8 zillion shows, right?
Right.
In my life.
Okay.
Okay. Now, should I sue you if you ask me some stupid question that I don't like, right? You got, or that you do something. Do I have a right? Should I sue you?
No, that's not what happened. They edited the responses. With Joe Rogan, they edited his face when he took ivermectin. They edited it to make him look sick. So he's talking to the most wrong person to try to argue this with. And either, so he says a lot in this interview. Whenever Joe has him and he's done, he says, "Well, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know much about that." Dude, you're in politics. These are some of the biggest political things going on at the time for days, weeks, months. You don't know? You didn't get wind of this? Being a fucking senator? You're a liar or you're incompetent and you should be removed. Those are the two options, Bernie. Which is it? That's what I would, if I was Joe, I would have been like, wait a minute, you're a fucking sitting senator. You don't know the answer to this. You don't remember this. You didn't catch wind of this, but you're going to sit here on my show and argue with me about the exact scenario that we've already seen. And then when I bring it up, because I'm not fucking retarded, your answer is, I'm old and I don't know and my hair's all fucked up. Like, this interview killed any opportunity Bernie Sanders had of running. Like, I guarantee you, they played this back. And him and his team went, okay, you're done. We're not running. This was his test pilot. That's what I think this was. I think this was Bernie Sanders' test pilot to see if he could run for president and run for office. Because I don't think Bernie's all in all like the worst guy in the world. I really don't. Like I think he's stupid, but I have to respect what he's done, right? Like I think that this interview, there's so many things where he talks about something and then Joe brings up the exact counterpoint that's already been done and Bernie has no idea. So he just says, well, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I'm saying this. It's like, no, you idiot. This is what they were fucking talking about. Like, you don't even know why he's fucking suing. He's not suing them because he asked a question he didn't like. He's suing them because they edited a tape with a presidential candidate to make her look better than she did, but they wouldn't do that for him. Like, okay, if that's the case, then when you do an interview with Trump and his editing team should get to take any answer they want and move it around in fucking video so that it looks better. It's just a campaign ad. 60 Minutes doesn't have a sterling reputation. Did you see their Fauci interview? They hid Hunter, like, they're bought and paid by the left.
How many? I cannot tell you the number of stories done about me that were not good stories.
And again, he's right on the points here's the thing. He's right on the points he's making. With attention comes good and bad, right? Like, and I've learned this the hard way. Owning businesses, being to the level that I've achieved in my life, the more people who know you, the more opportunity there are for people to not like you. Like when your attention grows. So even if 99 people like you and one person fucking hates you, well, what happens when 1 million people know you and keep the same ratio? So now 990,000 people like you, 10,000 people hate you. 10,000 people, but 1 million people know you. This is the scale. And most people, it's about 70-30, 80-20, some 50-50, depending on how big of an asshole you are, right? Like, and you could go down the list. You can go through anybody on earth. You can go through their comment section. And this is true. And I've seen it. Go through Tony Robbins' fucking comment section. There's people who fucking hate that guy. He's probably changed more. Like, I think he'll go down in history as literally one of the greatest self-development philosophers in the history of the world. Like, what he's done from literally zero $0 to billions and billions and billions and billions, and everything that he does for others and what he's done for my life. Like, fuck off, dude. Unbelievable, dude. Unbelievable man. There's people who fucking hate him. There's people who hate everybody. So the problem with attention is the more you have, the more good and bad. So even if your ratio's great, it's still going to go up at that ratio. So the problem is, Bernie is right in the argument that he's making is, yes, you get to a point where like people say dumb shit and you're just like, bro, I'm not even giving that attention. It's not true. Like, it doesn't do me any good to pay. Like, I had a lady the other day, perfect example. Had a lady the other day. She's in her 50s. She is morbidly obese. She was a client for a couple of years. She was a pain in the fucking ass. Nobody fucking liked her. And she lives at home with her parents. I think she's fucking retarded. Like, I literally think she might actually be like somewhat retarded, right? Like I just can't imagine there's a scenario where she's not like diagnosed with some type of mental retardation, because she literally still lives with her mom. And she's in her 50s. And it's like, you don't think I should be doing this? Oh, you don't like the way you don't do this? Well, whose opinion am I fucking taking? I'm literally taking a bridge troll's opinion. Why would I fucking care? And these are the things, like, this is what I'm talking about, guys. These are the things that you have to start realizing is, as you gain attention, you're going to start saying, okay, who is the sect of people that doesn't fucking like me? And if they're not people that you give a shit about anyway, good. They're not going to, like, I had people go try to cancel me. My sales went up on the supplements. Why? Because the people who tried to cancel me were broke anyway and weren't healthy and weren't fit and didn't care about their fitness and weren't going to buy. And I looked through all the comments. None of them had ever bought a fucking thing from me. So I didn't give a shit. I was like, oh, wait, you mean the people who don't support me anyway fucking hate me? Great. Okay, next. Like, you just learn to fucking deal with it. That's just like, and he's right. He knows this better than I do. Like, when Bernie Sanders fucks up, CNN and Fox News cover it, right? Well, maybe not CNN, but Fox News definitely will, right? It's national spotlight when this fucking idiot does something. I don't have that kind of attention. When A-Rod cheated on J-Lo, that's national news, right? I cheat on my wife, doesn't even get a fucking Channel 11 story. So these are the things that I'm talking about, right? Like, as your importance goes and as more people know you, this just happens. And this is just real life. So there's nothing you can do about it. Bernie's right. But that being said, this guy's a fucking idiot. He ruined his presidential chances. See you in